Hi guys, welcome back to MyDankDog. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, hitting the like button or leaving a comment or feedback. I do appreciate it. You can also follow me on X and Instagram at MyDankDog, and I try to post on those channels almost daily. Let's get into it. Just as a quick reminder, the VCure is now available to order at Vivosun.com and Amazon stores, and you can save up to 15% off site-wide using my code MyDankDog. And for a limited time only, you can save 20% off of VGrow at Vivosun.com and Amazon stores with my code MDDVGrow. So, what's a fern type? Narrow, deeply serrated, feathery, often called Fern-Type, fern leaf or mutant leaves. The primary source was the famous freak show variety and variants like Berry Freak, which popularized this trait. The genetic cause is a natural mutation in plant genetics, not a cross with other species. It was selectively bred and stabilized over generations for more extreme serrations. A breeder known as Shapeshifter created it in Central California, and it was discovered and emerged around 2017 during experimental crosses of old school hybrids. A deeply serrated male pheno called 17A was key in the breeding. It's a recessive trait. The plants grow normally otherwise, and it usually has a pine and lime aroma and is stealthy due to the unusual look. Most fern-type plants today trace back to the freak show lines. My lady is a Turpyz Mentha D Croco fern type. I managed to snag myself some test beans, and this is actually my second mutant grow. My first mutant grow was also Turpyz, a Deliga OG F3, which was a collab with Bin Chickens, and basically that was an ABC Aussie bastard mutant parsley herb type. Absolutely awesome as an introduction to mutant ladies. That grow required a lot of patience from me. When I got the beans, Turpyz mentioned that the grow would require an extra 6 weeks at least, so it was a long run, and I am putting a video together to break all of that grow down as well. Stay tuned for that. It's such a cool looking plant. Tiny, shiny, smooth, irregular, waxy, clustered leaves, kind of like parsley. These ABC type or mutant leaves are awesome. The genetic cause is a natural mutation or adaptive feral trait in plant genetics, likely from environmental pressures in harsh, rugged conditions. It's also recessive, and it's not a cross with unrelated species. Originally a wild, feral discovery with no single inventor, with early reports from Australian growers and breeders in the 20th century. It was first spotted in the 1970s, with possible earlier feral origins tracing to introductions in the 1800s to mid-1900s from imported beans, adapting in the wild, rugged areas of Australia. It evolved as a hardy, adaptive variant in inhospitable environments, rediscovered and selectively bred in recent decades for rarity, resilience, and utility. It's extremely niche, very rare, usually shared via seed exchanges, specialty mutant-focused breeders, and limited releases. I've also got these Turpyz variegated sour Picasso beans to get going as well, but they're going to have to wait until I do this run. So many mutants I want to get on the grow, it's unbelievable. In this grow, I'm also going to be getting some Jesus Christ S1s growing alongside the Mentha de Croco fern type, so we're going to be able to see those, but I'll put those in a separate video alongside the Neon Wasabi beans that I'm also getting on the grow, and they're a cross between Wasabi and Mentha de Croco, so I guess they're considered maybe like a 25% mutant. We will see as they start to grow. Just as a quick reminder guys, I actually cracked all 3 of these beans at the same time. So we'll probably split them up into 3 different videos. I'll have the Jesus Christ in one video, the Neon Wasabi in another video, or maybe I'll put those 2 together, but I'll definitely have the Mentha de Croco growing on its own in its own video because she's such a special lady. The Jesus Christ is supposed to be super stinky, so I may separate that out on its own as well just to enjoy the enhanced aroma of this beast. Now, I have been warned by Turpyz that this Jesus Christ is going to stink to high heaven, so I'm really excited and also a little bit scared to get that one going. The taproot was showing after 48 hours in spring water, the same as the Mentha de Croco Fern-Type, also 48 hours in spring water. Just a note to you guys as well, if you are cracking your beans in water, after about 48 hours, the oxygen in the water does start to disappear. So it's always good to pay attention to your ladies. You don't want them to drown. The Neon Wasabi, also approximately 48 hours in spring water, had a taproot too. So all of the beans were cracked. Although, if you take a look at Mentha de Croco, you can see that she's quite small with her taproot. She almost looks like a little tadpole. Now, Turpyz did say to crack these beans directly in the soil or the cocoa, the growing medium basically, but I decided to crack it in water. Then I'm going to transplant into this 16-ounce bud cup in Pro Mix Organic Seed Starter Mix. And although she had the smallest taproot out of the 3 beans, I was pretty confident that once she was popped in her little hole in the potting mix that she was gonna put that taproot further down into the pot and then start pushing herself up through the surface. So I didn't really have any worries. All of the beans seemed pretty healthy. It was just a case of keeping them nice and moist and nice and warm, and then just waiting for the next few days until they started to show their heads through the surface. This is our Mentha de Croco after 4 days, and as you can see, she's managed to shed her seed casing, but she hasn't opened up her cotyledons yet. But sometimes it gets a bit of membrane from the seed casing stuck in between those cotyledons, and it takes a while for them to kind of open up. This is 6 days later, and as you can see, she's actually quite small. She's looking a little bit stunted. I was expecting her to grow a little bit faster and a little bit kind of stronger than this, so I was a little bit concerned. This is 8 days later and she still hadn't opened her cotyledons, so as you can see, it's taken her a good amount of time to get her kind of poop in a group and open those leaves to catch some rays. This is 9 days later from cracking, and as you can see, we're almost open there, but she is taking her sweet time about opening those cotyledons. I can see some little mutant leaves in there though. This is 10 days, she's almost opened fully, and I can see already that those first true leaves in there do have the very kind of extra serrated fern shape to them. So even at this small size, you can see that she's going to be an awesome mutant. It's really unusual to watch these kind of freaky ladies grow, because they do grow so much different to the regular ladies that have been growing. The Dulaga OG was crazy slow. It was just like watching a plant grow in slow motion. I'm not sure if this is going to be the same. I think it's meant to be a little bit more in line with a regular growth, but when they grow so slow, you have to be very careful not to overfeed them, because they just don't absorb the nutrients and the water at the same kind of pace as the normal ladies. But we'll see just how fast she grows. She should be kind of laying down her roots at the moment, and normally once those roots are growing under the surface, they have a bit of a growth spurt on the top. So she's probably just laying down her roots at the moment, and hopefully we're going to see a bit of a growth spurt. I decided to use a humidity dome just to help her leaves absorb some moisture too, and that did seem to help. As you can see, at approximately 2 to 3 weeks, she's definitely got this fern-like structure going on, and she's starting to put on a little bit of size, but she is growing pretty slow and she's quite light as well. So I'm going to be very, very careful with her. She's currently just on spring water. I haven't started using any nutrients yet. I wasn't sure what nutrients to use. I was thinking about using Athena for all 3 of these beans that I've cracked, but then as I saw them growing quite slow and realizing that they were a little bit sensitive, I didn't want to throw something into the mix that I was unsure of. So I decided to stick with the nutrients that I've been using for quite a while, which is pH Perfect range from Advanced Nutrients, Micro, Grow and Bloom. I've got everything in the range. There's obviously some things that I'm missing, but I've got everything that I need, including some Revive, which is absolutely fantastic, and the Sensi Cal, Bud Candy and Big Bud. So I'm going to stick with this nutrient range so that I'm not throwing any unknowns into the mix. Late in her 3rd week, I started to use low dose Advanced Nutrients, Micro and Grow. 0.5 mil per litre and a pH range of about 5.9 to 6.1, and as you can see, she started to kind of pray towards the lights, which was a good sign that her new leaves are reaching up towards the light. So she's definitely looking healthier now, and I was a little bit worried at first because she was struggling with that very small taproot, and then it did take her a while to pop her head up and just get going, but she's looking good now. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Stay tuned for the next episode. Keep all of the likes, all of the comments, all of the feedback coming. Let me know in the comment section below if you've ever grown a freak or a mutant and what your favorite one is. Until the next episode, guys, bye bye.